You can turn on the mic. Be a little high. Got it? Give me another check there, Mac. Just talk. Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Pardon me. She said, come back, come back, come back. afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to everyone here. Thanks so much for coming out today. We ordered a beautiful day. The weather agreed with us, and we thank you for joining us today. This is a huge day. This is an important day, not only for my campaign, but for the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Before I turn the mic over, I would like to recognize some people here today. We have senators here today: Beth Marshall, Norm Doyle, Fabian Manning, and David Wells. We have former members of Parliament here today. We have MHAs. Mr. Ches Crosby is here, Kevin Parsons, David Brazel, Jeff Dwyer, and I also have some of my council colleagues from the neighbouring municipalities here as well, which it's near and dear to my heart. So thanks for joining us today. We have my Conservative candidates over here to my left. We have Terry Martin, Matthew Chapman, and Sharon Vokey. Thanks for coming out today and bringing your crew. We're hoping to have a blue wave across Newfoundland and Labrador, aren't we? My friends, this is, as I said, it's an important day. My family is here, all my friends are here, our supporters are here, and we're here to welcome the man of the hour. We have with us today the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, Mr. Andrew Scheer. Big round of applause, Mr. Scheer. Exactly, our next Prime Minister. He's a husband, a busy father, 5 children. Again, a very busy father. And he has proven that hard work and determination certainly pay off. And as I said, we're going to have a blue wave across this province, Newfoundland and Labrador. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and a big shout for Mr. Andrew Scheer.
Wow, what a warm welcome. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. C'est un plaisir d'être ici. It's such a great pleasure to be here to support your candidate and your next Member of Parliament, Joedy Wall. Thank you very much. Joedy mentioned that I am the father of 5 children. Jill and I are so blessed to have 3 daughters and 2 sons, and a lot of people ask me what that's like to have 5 kids, especially to go from 4 to 5. That's a big family. Sometimes that gets a bigger reaction than everything else that they say about me during the introduction. And there's a very funny comedian, a guy named Jim Gaffigan. I've got a lot of mileage out of the joke that he always tells, because he too has 5 children, and he was once asked what it's like to go from 4 children to 5 children. And the best way he could explain, I think it's very appropriate, is he said, imagine yourself drowning and then someone throws you a baby. And that's what having a 5th child is like. I want to take this opportunity to highlight someone else who is with us this evening. I am so honored by his presence. It's great to have our good friend, Ches Crosby, the leader of the Newfoundland and Labrador Progressive Conservative Party. Thank you very much for your presence here this evening, and I look forward to working together with you when I am Prime Minister of Canada and you are Premier of this wonderful province. Get ready for business. Fantastic. We're going to have a lot of work to do. We're going to have a big mess to clean up federally. You're going to have a big mess to clean up provincially, but we're both ready to do it. And it will start with something. I can tell you one thing I hear a lot when I'm in Newfoundland and Labrador, when I talk to people here, I hear a lot of concern about the cost of living. It's the same all across the country. The cost of living. Things are getting more and more expensive, and it's harder and harder to get by. And that is what our entire campaign theme is all about. Because this fundamental question, this campaign, is who do you trust to make life more affordable so that you can get ahead? Now, when we talk about trust, we certainly can't trust Justin Trudeau. Would you agree with me on that, ladies and gentlemen? Il a brisé des promesses. He broke his promises. Remember, in 2015, he looked Canadians in the eye, and he told them that he was going to be as honest as he possibly could be. We now know how honest he possibly could be. And he said that he would balance the budget in 2019. Instead, we see massive deficits for years and years and years, no end in sight. And we know that the debt that means, the debt that he has racked up means higher interest payments, more and more of your tax dollars going to pay just the interest on that debt instead of improving social services or being able to lower taxes. That's why Conservatives, we have a plan to balance the budget over a responsible 5-year period of time so we can stop spending money on the interest on that debt to banks and bondholders and start putting that to work for the people of this great country. We're going to help make life more affordable by scrapping the carbon tax, job number 1. We know it doesn't have any impact on lowering emissions. Study after study shows that emissions are going up, and so are the cost of everyday essentials like gasoline and home heating. When I talk to people in the fishing industry, they tell me their number one source of expenses, their number one input cost is fuel. And that carbon tax is making that more and more expensive. We're going to replace that with a real plan that focuses on technology, not taxes, that takes the climate change fight global and once and for all addresses other important environmental issues like banning the dumping of raw sewage into our rivers, lakes, and oceans. That's a real environmental plan, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to recognize that heating your home in the winter is not a luxury, it's a necessity. So we're going to take the GST and HST off of home energy bills. We're going to put more money in your pocket with our universal tax cut that lowers the first income tax bracket, meaning the average hard-working couple will save $850 every single year. And today I was very honored to announce a plan to help our veterans get ahead as well. We know that the men and women who have served this country that have a special relationship with our country, with the men and women that they fought to protect, and the government has a sacred obligation to honor their commitment. And I know that our veterans remember when Justin Trudeau looked one of the decorated war heroes in the eye, someone who had worn the uniform proudly for our country. And remember what he said. He said that veterans were asking for more than he could give right now. That's shameful, ladies and gentlemen. A Conservative government will honor their commitment by enshrining a sacred obligation between the government and veterans to make sure they get the help they need and that the government works for them, not the other way around. So we're not even a quarter of the way through this campaign, and we've already announced concrete measures to help make life more affordable, to help people get ahead. Nous avons annoncé beaucoup des idées pour améliorer le quotidien pour tous les Canadiens et Canadiennes. We've got a long way to go, but we've got great candidates like Joedy who are going door to door, community to community, to get that positive message to everyone. Now, in the last election, we didn't do too well in Atlantic Canada. The Liberals went 32 for 32. But what I hear every time I come back to Newfoundland and Labrador, every time I travel all across Atlantic Canada, I hear from people that they feel that the people of Atlantic Canada have gone 0 for 32 since the last election. And they're ready for change. They're ready for strong representatives that stand up for them, that represent their ridings to Ottawa, not Ottawa to their ridings. Every single Liberal member of Parliament voted against pipelines bringing Western Canadian energy to Eastern Canadian markets. Every single Liberal member of Parliament voted in favor of tax hikes on small businesses. Every single Liberal member of Parliament stood idly by while Justin Trudeau appointed a minister for ACOA who comes from Toronto. As Prime Minister, I will appoint the minister responsible for the Atlantic Canadian Opportunities Agency, who actually comes from Atlantic Canada. So that's the choice, ladies and gentlemen. Where Justin Trudeau will break his promise and lie to Canadians, I will restore integrity and ethics to our government and shine a light on his corruption. Where he will be bullied and pushed around on the world stage, I will represent Canadians and Canada with strength and professionalism. And where he will run massive deficits, raise your taxes, and make life more expensive, we will return to balanced budgets so we can put more money in your pocket, because it's time for you to get ahead. So I'm asking all of you here tonight to give everything you've got to Joedy. He's a great candidate. I know he's been working hard for a long time already. And election night starts a little bit early in Newfoundland and Labrador. You've got that extra half hour on us. And we're going to know what kind of night we have when we see those early results coming in from Atlantic Canada. And I know that we're going to turn Atlantic Canada blue. We're going to win seats here in Newfoundland and Labrador. We're going to get strong members of Parliament like Joedy elected. And all of us working together all across this country, we can and we will make sure that Justin Trudeau is a one-term Prime Minister. Thanks very much. Merci beaucoup tout le monde.
Maintenant